Good evening, everyone, and happy State Day. My name is Matt Van Winkle, Visual Content Specialist here at the ISU Alumni Association.
And my name is Lainey Crawford, the Manager of Travel and Young Alumni.
And my name is Mary Kate Mishak, and I'm the Manager of Student Programs and the Advisor for the Student Alumni Leadership Council. State Day coincides with Iowa State's anniversary of establishment, and as of today, Iowa State is 163 years old. Happy birthday, ISU.
Happy birthday, Iowa State. We're curious who we have online with us tonight. Let us know in the comments where you guys are watching from. I know, Mary Kate, we had a lot of people registering for this event, so let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you went to school at Iowa State, we'd love to know what years you were a student here. We have a prize for the first person to comment. We want to know when you went to Iowa State, and what else do we want to know, guys? Anything else we want people to comment? Favorite memory at Iowa State, anything. Just let us know.
What years you were here.
Yeah. We've got a dozen Insomnia cookies that's going to be delivered right to you. So we're going to look through the comments and we'll pick a winner. Sound good, guys?
Sounds great.
Awesome. All right. So, Lainey, I think you are up next.
Let's see. You know what we always say, cyclones are truly everywhere, and that's certainly no different with the audience we have tonight. We had registrations come in from 30 different states and 5 additional countries. Like Mary Kate said, today we are celebrating 163 years of Iowa State, and we are excited to give you a behind-the-scenes look at some of the things that make Iowa State such a special place to all of us.
We know that some of you are missing home here at Iowa State, and you can't wait to be back on campus with us in person. Make sure that you stick around to the end of the program because we'll be revealing our homecoming theme and logo for 2021 to get you excited for fall when you can come back and see us.
Okay, it took a second for the comments to pop up, so apologize for that, but we do have somebody that commented, Cindy Van Wy, only 45 miles from Iowa State, 1989 and 2003. So congratulations, Cindy. We'll be in contact with you about receiving your prize. So thanks to everyone. We had lots of people commenting. Let's just pop up a few more of people that are watching.
Yeah,
we've got Mary Beth Bettendorf, class of 90. We've got Dennis Summers out in Arizona, ISU 1972. We've got some people watching out in North Carolina. Hello to you, 1968. MS, Pete is out watching in North Carolina. Let's see, anyone else watching from out of state? All right, here we go. East Moline, 1972 to 76. So Cyclones out in Illinois. Thanks for watching with us. We are currently watching the Iowa State women in the background. I'm trying to see what the score is behind my shoulder. The Cyclones are up by 3. They're playing in the NCAA tournament. So cheers to our ladies. Hopefully they can pull this one out. Hopefully you guys are watching along with us as well. But
I saw that Rose Miller is trying to listen and watch this, so she's multitasking, she says. So are we, Rose.
Yes, we are. We are watching our ladies. It's going to come down to some free throws here, it looks like. But hey, we've got some entertainment for you guys throughout the evening, and we're excited to bring it to you. So let's dive into our spotlights. First up, we want to give you a behind-the-scenes look at a building on campus you've probably seen or walked by a few times, but maybe not know a whole lot about. So last week, I talked with Greg Bailey. He serves as the University Archivist at Iowa State to pull back the curtain on the history of the Armory. So let's take a look.
My name is Greg Bailey. I am the University Archivist here at Iowa State out of Special Collections and University Archives and Parks Library. We are here in the Armory on Iowa State University's campus. The earliest known references to an armory started in 1871 by the Board of Trustees, calling for an armory to be built on campus. It wasn't again until the 1880s that another movement was called for in the annual reports of the university for an armory to help support the mission of Iowa State and its land-grant aspects with military education. But it wasn't until 1917 when full movement started on the construction of an armory on ISU's campus. Those actions stalled largely because of World War I and the increase of material costs and the rarity of supplies, such as iron girders and things like that. It wasn't until 1919 that actual movement on an armory came to full fruition when the college put out calls for bids on materials for the building of the armory. In 1920, the construction started on campus with oversight of Thomas Sloss, the superintendent of the grounds, that built the Armory, and it opened in 1921, the fall of that year. And on December 16, 1922, a fire engulfed the Armory and gutted the whole building, taking with it all of the military equipment stored there, estimated to be up to $150,000. Construction began in the spring that following year, as soon as the weather permitted, and was built and opened in 1924. So the Armory has always been home to the ROTC programs here at Iowa State University. It has housed offices, classrooms, equipment, and the firing range for the programs. As with times, the needs of the university have changed, and the Armory has become home to many other non-military study programs. In 1946, the men's basketball team moved to the Armory from State Gymnasium as the attendance demands had outgrown the capacity of State Gym. The Armory held 5,000 seats, and in 1956 an additional 3,500 were added, along with a concrete floor. The Armory would be home to the men's basketball team until 1971 when it moved to Hilton Coliseum. So the Armory has been home to many other activities on campus as well. Large gatherings and concerts, extension shows, open forums were held in the Armory because of the large space and a climate-controlled situation, so they wouldn't be facing storms and things outside. One of the first things that students actually had as an opportunity to do on campus was visit the Armory for freshman days and for registration on campus. Freshman days really was an orientation period for incoming freshmen where they would learn cheers, rallies about different traditions at Iowa State, and as well as starting to get the registration process underway as new freshmen on campus here at Iowa State. So the Armory hosted pep rallies and barbecues surrounding homecoming the Friday night before the big game. The homecoming queen would be crowned during these evening festivities, as well as pep rally talk from the football coach in front of students and alumni. Commencement and commissionings were also common occurrences in the Armory, as these activities had outgrown State Gymnasium, and weather was always a consideration with holding these activities at Clyde Williams Stadium. Visha also found a home at the Armory for some of their events, such as the annual dance, horse show, and Stars Over Visha. In the 1970s, the Armory was set up for intramural sports, with options such as badminton, tennis, volleyball, and basketball. In the summer of 1980, the Department of Public Safety and Parking moved into the Armory. In 1990, the College of Design was allocated space within the Armory for design studios. Since that time, they have remained, and renovations were done in 2012 to add more facilities. So the Armory has served ISU for nearly 100 years in many aspects, and today it still is an integral part of the student learning process.
Very cool. I think I learned more from Greg in my hour with him at the Armory than I knew about the Armory my whole time as a student at Iowa State, guys.
Yeah.
Definitely. I didn't know all the history behind it and so many events that were held there. I mean, they were talking about freshman days, and I remember doing Destination Iowa State as a freshman. So I'm sure there were tons of memories there for students.
Yeah, very cool. Well, you guys heard Greg talking a little bit about the Armory being used for many years by the Iowa State men's basketball team. And maybe some of you guys, I don't know how old some people are watching, but you may have been able to watch the Iowa State men's basketball team when they played at the Armory. I actually got a chance to interview Cyclone basketball legend Gary Thompson, who played for Iowa State at the Armory from 1954 to 1957. We wanted to ask him what it was like playing in the Armory and some memories that still stick with him to this day. So I hope you enjoy this interview. So, Mr. Thompson, thanks so much for spending some time with us today for our virtual State Day.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So what are some of your memories that you can share with us about what it was like playing in the Armory when you were part of the Iowa State men's basketball team?
Well, just to give you a little background, the basketball team practiced a lot in the old men's gym, and our lockers were all there. Mm-hmm. And so there wasn't any lockers in the Armory. In my first 2 years that I was playing basketball for Iowa State, we would have to take at night for a game, we'd take a bus over to the Armory dressed in football overcoats and whatnot. The floor was laid on the ground, the dirt. And so when you'd start to play, the portable floor would bounce up and down and produce dirt on the floor. And after we'd warmed up, we'd have to wash our hands before we started the game again. And we had no lockers. And so the teams were put in classrooms, and a chalkboard was put in there for each classroom for the opposing team and our team, so that the coaches could diagram plays that they wanted to do or go over their strategy for the game.
What are some of your favorite memories, some of your favorite games maybe that you played there? Obviously, there's the infamous game against Kansas and Wilt Chamberlain, but what are some of your other favorite memories?
Well, I had a game against Colorado where I made a shot from behind the half-court line at halftime. And then at the end of the game, we were tied, and I held the ball down to the very last shot and shot the last shot and made it, and we won the game by 2 points. Another game was we were playing Vanderbilt in my junior year, and Vanderbilt came in rated 4th or 5th in the country, and we beat them. And I had the first 40-point game for Iowa State at that time. And the other thing about that, the Armory, was in my senior year, the Armory held about 5,000 people, and it was all bleachers that were put in from the football days that were on the end zones. My senior year, they changed the court. The court was running north and south, and they changed the court to run east and west and put in concrete floor and put in steel bleachers. We went to seating 8,000, which we filled all the time those last 2 years in 56 and 57. And the fans, it was really a home court advantage because the fans were seated right up close to the court, particularly the first 2 years. And then when they got the permanent steel bleachers my senior year, the people would stomp the bleachers, and the noise was terrific.
It's an interesting shape with the arched ceiling there. I would imagine that kind of reverberated the noise, and with those steel bleachers, as you're talking about, what was the atmosphere like in the Armory?
Well, it was terrific. In fact, I'm not trying to take anything away from Hilton Magic, but it was the Armory was rated as one of the toughest places to play in the conference at that time, and it was because of those steel bleachers and the sound and how close the fans were sitting to you. They get on the players pretty good, or the opposing team.
I mentioned the game against Kansas. Can you tell us your memories from that game? What was that game like, and playing against Wilt Chamberlain?
We had lost to Kansas in the Big 8, or it was Big 7 then, the Big 7 tournament, by 1 point. They made a last shot to beat us by 1 point. So when we came to Ames, it was a much looked upon game to return match. And it was a low scoring game, 39-37. And part of that, we were controlling and looking for good shots for myself and our other players. And so we were controlling the time, but Kansas also did the same thing. They kept trying to get the ball to Wilt, and we were doubling up Wilt with our big men, with the 2 forwards and center, which left the guard, my teammate Lyle Fromm, and I chasing 3 guys out front. And they could get some open shots, but they turned them down and kept looking for Wilt. And so that made the score a low-scoring game. Now, what happened was, at the end of the game, we fouled Wilt with the score 37-35 at that time, and 15 seconds left. And Wilt was notoriously poor free throw shooter, and so he kept telling the guys after the timeout to make sure that you block off. Well, sure enough, Wilt made both free throws. So that we had a timeout. The game was tied at 37-37. And the coach set up a play for me to get a jump shot. Well, they knew I was going to get the shot. And Wilt came over to double up. They weren't going to let me get a shot. And Lyle Fromm was handling the ball, and he found out that they were doubling me, and he couldn't. And Wilt left our center, Don Metzger, open on the other side of the lane. And so Lyle hit him, and Metzger turned and shot. And as I remember, the gun went off as the ball was in the air. The ball went through the basket, 39-37, and the crowd went crazy.
Some great memories. You have a phenomenal memory. I can't believe that those details still stick in your mind today.
Well, there's some that do.
Yep.
Some
Yeah,
would like
that's
to forget.
well, Mr. Thompson, thank you so much for spending some time with us today and sharing some of these memories.
Thank you for having me.
What a treasure it is to have Gary Thompson as one of our alumni guys. How cool is that?
That's right. What a special interview. I think, like you said to him, Matt, like the play-by-play memories, I could just listen to his stories all day long, and just how he's able to remember that is amazing to me.
So we got a really funny comment, really cool comment actually. Rex commented, I thoroughly enjoyed playing many pickup games in State Gym with Gary Thompson. He was a fantastic player for decades after his college years. So a very cool comment from Rex. And one of the things that we weren't able to include in the interview, Gary actually was able to call the first game at Hilton Coliseum when it was built. He did a lot of broadcasting for ESPN and a lot of networks back in the day. So he got to call the very first game at Hilton. So kind of a cool transition from going from the Armory to Hilton Coliseum for a great Cyclone legend. So very cool interview. Nice to catch up with Gary Thompson.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you again to Gary Thompson for talking with us. I think before we move on to our next spotlight, we're going to give out a prize. So congratulations to Mishari Alarbi, winner of a gift card from the Iowa State bookstore here in Ames. So you can shop online if you're out of town, but enjoy picking out some ISU gear on us.
Congratulations, Mishari. All right. Well, guys, we have a really cool feature coming up next. Our next video is going to take us to the Gaffers Guild. So a lot of people watching this might remember the Gaffers Guild out on the west side of campus in the old building there. It was an old glass blowing studio on Iowa State's campus, and now it's over in the Student Innovation Center where they're making really cool designs that we're going to show you here in a little bit. We wanted to give you an inside look, and thanks to our partners at the ISU Foundation, they were able to catch up with the folks at the Gaffers Guild and put this video together for us. So enjoy an inside look at the Gaffers Guild.
Welcome to the Gaffers Guild at Iowa State University. We are in the new state-of-the-art glassblowing space in the Student Innovation Center. Let's watch as several students walk us through the glassblowing process. Students from across colleges at ISU are learning the science and skills of artistic glassblowing. Each unique piece of art begins with gathering molten glass out of the furnace onto a blowpipe or punty. With modern equipment and materials, students are able to apply their knowledge to learn and advance the ancient art of glassblowing. Hot tools can be cooled rapidly using a pipe cooler. The glass at 1165 degrees Celsius is soft and can be shaped with a variety of tools. Here, students do initial shaping using a steel marber table. The process teaches dexterity and control. As the glass cools, it starts to harden and must be reheated to make it malleable again. The reheating furnaces operate at about the same temperature as the primary melting furnace. The base glass in the melting furnace is colorless. Commercially manufactured colored glass with the same physical properties as the base glass may be picked up on the hot surface of the piece. Depending on the color chemistry, reactivity, and the desired artistic effect, color may be left on the outer surface of the piece or encased in another layer of glass. Shaping the glass can be a team effort, where communication is critical. Shaping continues and is limited only by the imagination and skill of the glassblower. Students are encouraged to learn about the physical and mechanical properties of the glass and to observe how the glass behaves as the piece progresses. With practice, this becomes the blending of science and art. A wet pad of newspaper can give students literally hands-on control of the shape of the piece. Collaboration is key, and students frequently exchange ideas. Repetition and understanding of the process gives students the knowledge and confidence to progress to more complex pieces. As a piece nears completion, final details are incorporated. The finished piece is gently broken off of the punty. An assistant wearing protective gear prepares to place the piece in an annealing oven. The glass, which at this point is under a lot of stress, is allowed to equilibrate both mechanically and thermally before it is cooled down to room temperature. Only after the glass is fully cooled will the glass blowers be able to appreciate the final results or learn from their mistakes. Each finished piece is a unique object of art that expresses the skill, innovation, collaboration, and imagination of the glass blower and team. Thanks to your vision and generous support, students from diverse backgrounds and majors are able to take advantage of all that the Student Innovation Center has to offer.
Very cool.
Yes, what a cool and intricate process for all of that. As Matt said, we'll hear a little bit more about Gaffer's Guild's new studio in the Student Innovation Center coming up. And I know that some of you at home are probably thinking that you'd love to display a glass blown piece in your home or office. So you're in luck. We have a prize winner who will receive both a cardinal and a gold glass blown swan. Mary Kate has some samples there to show that we just got today from the Gaffers Guild.
Check these out too, guys. Here you go. Look at that.
They're beautiful.
Very cool. You can kind of see the size proportion there, Mary Kate. Why don't you hold those up one more time just so we can see the size on those? Oh yeah, perfect for a little paperweight or nice decoration on your desk.
They're so cute.
Very cool. Those are really cool.
So our first winner of those swans, let's see, it's going to be Carla Smith.
Yay!
Congratulations,
Carla from Tampa, Florida. And we will be in touch with you about receiving your prize.
Yes.
Very cool.
We will take good care of them as they get to Florida for you.
Yes, and thank you for your membership as well, Carla. We see you're an annual member in Florida, so thank you so much for your membership.
Yes. So swans are one thing that has always reminded me of Iowa State when I see them. But another symbol of Iowa State to many is the Rice Krispie treat, which was created in 1927 by an Iowa State alumna named Mildred Grice Day. When I was in school, I was a tour guide, and it was one of my favorite parts. After showing around future Cyclones, we could take a Rice Krispie treat home from the admissions office, and they are so special. So we asked our friends at ISU Dining to share with us their secrets, and they've delivered just that. So let's get baking.
Awesome. How easy is that?
So easy.
That's super easy. Lainey, you got to make these last night, didn't you?
Yeah.
I did. Got to try out the recipe. It works very well.
Nice.
And they taste pretty good.
Well, should we cheers to a Cyclone women victory over Michigan State in the first round of the NCAA tournament? They did pull it off. A nice win from our ladies. So cheers to the women. I got to try this, Lainey, okay?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Just like at Iowa State.
Tastes exactly
Really
the
good.
same.
Great to hear.
Super easy. So thanks to ISU Dining for putting that together. I'm super hungry now. I just want to keep eating that.
And so for our viewers who donated $25 or more, they won't have to wait too long to taste one of those ISU Dining Rice Krispie treats, because we'll be sending them directly to your door along with a one-of-a-kind State Day print. We're also including the Rice Krispies recipe that you just saw in the video, so you can keep that and make them anytime at home that you would like. Thank you to everyone who did support us. Your donations help the ISU Alumni Association fulfill its mission to facilitate the lifetime connection of alumni, students, and friends with ISU and each other.
That's right. So I think we can fit in one more prize before we move on. So our next Iowa State Bookstore gift card prize winner will have the chance to pick out some new gear on us. So let's choose Haley Corkin. So Haley is a senior in statistics here. So you keep an eye on your inbox and we will get you that gift card as soon as we can, Haley.
Awesome. Got students watching tonight. Very cool. Love to see that the students are taking part in State Day as well. Wouldn't be State Day without the students, right, guys?
That's right.
That is true.
Very cool. We've got lots of people watching and commenting. We'll get to some, maybe let's get to a few more comments. Let's see. Happy State Day. Oh, we got Chelsea Trowbridge watching. Hey, Chelsea, thanks for tuning in.
It's Chelsea's birthday too. She shares a birthday with Iowa State.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Birthday,
Happy State Day and happy birthday to Chelsea. We got Robert says Rice Krispie treats. Cool. Yes, we will share that recipe with you as well. And hey, hopefully you donated and you'll get one of your very own. So thanks to everyone watching and commenting as well. All right, guys. Well, we've talked a little bit about swans. We talked about the Gaffers Guild. And members of our staff said they've always wanted to know about swans on campus, Lancelot and Elaine, of course, and how Iowa State looks over our famous feathered friends. So luckily, we found the Iowa State swan expert, Kurt Johnson, who has worked with Iowa State's facilities, planning, and management for 35 years. He met with us the other day to talk about his job and answer a few questions. So let's take a look.
My name is Curtis Johnson. I'm the pest control operator and nuisance wildlife control operator for Iowa State University. We love our swans on Lake Laverne. This pair, it's two females, and these have been here somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 years. And these two females have been very easy to care for. So it's basically just feeding them once a week. And then we come down and kind of just walk the lake once in a while to check on different things. When I've been here about 35 years, and for the first 8 to 10 years, the science department used to take care of the swans, and someone from the poultry farm would feed the birds. And in the wintertime, they used to take them off the lake and keep them in a building out at the poultry farm. And after they had dredged the lake the last time and redid the other end and redid the island, they decided to leave them on lake year-round. Some of the winter temperatures can probably be pretty brutal, but when you think about it, I think they're probably happier to be out here full-time than they would be to be locked in a room or out in a building. For some reason, these two females have done very well here. They seem to stay in their west end of the lake. Now the front bird has its wings up, and they do display like that to make themselves look a little bit bigger. One of my little games is if I come down here to check on them, they usually try to chase the Canada geese out of the lake, and then I chase the geese back into the lake. And so we play together a little bit. Well, I've always enjoyed the outdoors, but I think it is nice. I think people should feel very grateful that a portion of this campus is a little bit wild looking. Granted, it is pruned and it is groomed and it's taken very good care of, but there is a little bit that isn't concrete and buildings. I mean, this area could have been filled in. We could build another building here, but it is nice to have a quiet spot to be able to walk and just get outdoors. I'm thrilled that they've been able to keep this lake here.
I loved that.
We love our swans, don't we?
Yes. My favorite
State's
part was
campus.
that he plays with the geese and the swans together and just kind of hits them against each other. So fun.
Morris says, I currently have a picture of Elaine and Lancelot floating on Lake Laverne as the desktop on my computer. Very fitting.
So
Love it.
serene. Amazing.
Yes, that's
Well, we could not follow up that swan spotlight without giving away another set of these lovely glass swans that you all are talking about from the Gaffers Guild. So congratulations to our next winner, Dr. Myron Heinrichs, the 66 grad from veterinary medicine, Petaluma, California, and a life member as well. So thanks so much for your continued support, Dr. Heinrichs, and we will get you your glass-blown swans.
Awesome. Cyclones everywhere, watching out in California. Very cool. Again, here's what those swans will look like. I just love looking at. I might save this as my new background on my computer.
There you go.
I might need to have the Gaffers Guild make me a couple.
Yes.
Very cool. Awesome. All right.
So next we are going to take you on a virtual tour of a brand new building on Iowa State's campus, the Student Innovation Center. This building was constructed to provide space to inspire students, faculty, and staff to, you guessed it, innovate. There's so many wonderful tools and spaces in this building, so let's take a look.
Welcome to the Student Innovation Center. I'm Jim Oliver, Director of the Center. We're here in the main east-west atrium of the Student Innovation Center. We expect students to be roaming through here all the time. Behind me is our stepatorium, which is a gathering spot for collaborating, for events. You can see the giant screen that lights this entire atrium up so that we can have presentations and events and speakers as a main gathering spot. There's so much to show you in the Student Innovation Center. I'm really excited to walk through and explain what we have here for everybody. It's very exciting. All right, we're here now in the Gaffers Guild, which is a wonderful studio for glass blowing. This is a club that's been at ISU for 40 years. This is a magnificent resource, state-of-the-art equipment. We've got all kinds of audio-visual capabilities to capture what's going on, and places for students to sit and see the action in person. This is a tremendous example of the interdisciplinary nature of the work that goes on at the Student Innovation Center, because we have the scientific aspects of glass, and Professor Martin is the leader of that group. He's a world-renowned scientist. And then the aesthetics and the creativity of glass itself for all the different uses. So this club is thriving, and now they have the perfect place to do their work. We're here in our auditorium in the lower level, Student Innovation Center. Our class is just convening before we start. I'll try not to interrupt. We have 5 general university classrooms in the building that'll be allocated to faculty that are interested in innovating in their teaching techniques, and we're thrilled to have a variety of different courses from all around the university taking advantage of these beautiful resources. Right now we're in the assembly bay of the heavy metal shop. This is one of 3 of our big maker spaces. This one, as you can see, has been dedicated to the student organizations that make the competitive projects. Here's the Next Generation Formula Car, Baja Car, Clean Snowmobile, Super Mileage. And if you want to pan around behind me, there's the upcoming Prism Solar Car. I like to say that all of our clubs will be very competitive with these tremendous resources that are available for them to create and innovate in their club projects. Now we're in the fabrication side of this heavy metal shop, and as you can see, we got some pretty serious equipment here for the students to use. So this is primarily, again, for the student organizations that make the competitive projects. Top of the line, state-of-the-art machine tools, lathes, mills, drills, all the equipment they need to make the parts in this side, and they assemble them and test them on the assembly bay next door. Now we're in our makerspace on the 2nd floor, which is electronics, 3D printing, and textile fabrication. You say, oh, it's an odd collection. By design. So here we are in the electronics area. You've got soldering hoods and various electronics, power supplies, oscilloscopes, and that type of thing. And this is a really common place where students will interact with open source hardware like Arduinos and Raspberry Pis and create new things. Adjacent to me here are all kinds of 3D printers, and we made the decision to go with very easy to use printers that are high throughput to get as many students as we can experience with 3D printing. And as you know, you can print just about anything on these machines, different materials and different objects. And as we walk through here, we're going to transition from electronics 3D printing, and this whole section is all focused on textile fabrication. So we've got really high-tech fabrication for textiles, laser cutters, computer-controlled looms and knitting machines, and tremendous resources that will support not only our excellent fashion design program, but also a myriad of other kinds of applications where interesting uses of technology and textiles come together. We are in the Architectural Robotics Lab. This is a group in the College of Design that experiments with interesting uses of technology like robots and other technologies to create different building materials. So think of different ways to put rebar into preformed concrete and other really creative uses of technology in architecture. We are now in the Larry and Pam Pitthand Collaborative Learning Space, a teaching space for the College of Engineering. There are 3 spaces like this throughout the building. We've got some students working on a capstone project right behind me here. This room is set up with what we call team-based learning technology. So all of these pods have a separate monitor that the students can use individually, or the instructor can coordinate with what's seen on the big screen or on these little screens. They can push and pull content from any one or any multiple of those to share with everybody else. A very cool technology that is being exploited here at the Student Innovation Center. We're now in the Learning in the Round classroom. This is the only facility on campus that's configured in this way, of concentric seating. So this is not a lecture hall, this is more like a discussion forum. You'll notice the seats inside rotate around so we can cluster the students in groups to discuss, bring them back to the broader discussion. Notice the beautiful AV above me is visible from everywhere. Even the students on the inside can look at the inside displays. So it's just a really unique learning space that we hope many faculty take advantage of here at the Student Innovation Center. Now we're in the Culinary Creations Laboratory, which is a teaching facility for the College of Human Science. This is a fully equipped kitchen with everything you need to teach the culinary arts, including refrigeration and ranges and ovens. Notice we also have a tremendous amount of audio-visual capture in here, not only for the students who are present, but again, that can be routed down to the control room and sent out anywhere in the world. Just a really wonderful resource in high demand. These students are busy making chocolate creations at this time. So this is a teaching facility. Welcome to the Sparks Cafe here on the 4th floor of the Student Innovation Center. This is a student-run cafe, full service. We have lunches and pizzas and snacks and coffee, all operated by the students. This is a learning facility, again, for students to learn how to operate a food retail space, staffed by them and stocked and run by students with some supervisory help from faculty in the College of Human Science. A great resource to meet and gather. We have a place you can actually sit and eat and visit with your colleagues and friends. And it's a very popular location here in the Student Innovation Center. Last but not least, on the 4th floor, we have the launch pad here at the Student Innovation Center. Big, beautiful boardroom. It's configured with tremendous AV capabilities. So as you know, all departments and colleges have advisory boards. This can be reserved for meetings like that. When it's not in reserve, all the students can hang out up here. They love it. It's a beautiful view of the east side of campus, tremendous natural light, and just a wonderful place to get work done. Right here in the heart of the action on the main level, adjacent to the main level atrium, we have Innovate 1858, the student-run retail. So they create products. Again, this is a learning space for the students that want to learn how to be merchandisers, retailers. They create objects to sell, decide what to sell. There you can see some items from the Gaffers Guild here that are there for sale. But this is, again, student-run learning space for the College of Human Science, and we're thrilled that they are here, and they've got tremendous resources. Please stop in and shop at Innovate 1858. Well, thank you for joining me for a quick tour of the Student Innovation Center. I'm so excited that we're approaching full capacity and really encourage you all to come and visit us and see the wonderful activities that are going on here. It's just a very exciting time for Iowa State and its students and faculty and staff. So thank you very much.
Hands down, the coolest building now on campus.
So cool. I'm so jealous that that wasn't there when we were in school.
I know.
Totally. I think, go ahead, Lainey.
Yeah, I was just going to say that as a human sciences grad, the store and the textiles part and even the cafe, I mean, there's so much there for everyone. And the launch pad looks like an amazing space too with that view of campus.
Yeah. Very cool. It's a very unique view of campus if you haven't seen campus from that west side, right by the water tower. I think my favorite part is this Innovate 1858 store that they have. They sell all creations made by students there. Very cool. From homemade honey to, as you can see there, like scarves and clothing. It's very cool, very diverse crop of things that are for sale there. So if you haven't yet made it back to campus, make sure you get back and check out the Student Innovation Center and check out the store there right on the first floor. It's really a cool space.
Yeah.
I love how Emily said it almost makes me want to go back to school. I feel that way too.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah, Emily, yes, for sure. I've thought the same thing when I've been back in there. I'm like, man, I wish I would have had class here. I was a journalism major, and they have a full studio going up there with the full green screen and everything in the back. It looks like a real studio, all these editing bays that are coming in. So there's still a lot more work to be done there too. They're still doing work on it. Obviously, the pandemic has affected the use of that space. They've actually been able to use some of the classrooms, convert some of the open spaces into nice spaced out classrooms in there, which is kind of a unique tool. But yeah, they're really using that building to its full capacity, and hopefully using it more here very soon once we can get students back in the classrooms normally, I guess. So very cool space. Thanks to Jim Oliver for giving us that tour.
So I think we've got time for one more prize winner of a set of glass-blown swans before we go for the evening.
We do.
So congratulations to Corinne Good. She is a 93 architecture grad from Des Moines, Iowa, also a life member. So thank you for your membership, and we'll be in touch with you about receiving your prize as well.
There they are again. I just got to keep putting the picture up because it's so cool.
So cool.
All right.
So as promised, before we end our program for tonight, we're excited to reveal our 2021 homecoming theme with this video for you.
Warning, warning, this is a cyclone weather alert. There is a strong storm approaching Iowa State University. It's expected to arrive October 14th through the 23rd. To prepare for this storm, you should buy food on campus buttons, purchase house paint to get ready for Yell Like Hell, get your gear ready for tournaments and the big game, and lastly, don't forget your significant other for Camp Annealing. When you're in Jack Trice Stadium, make sure to keep an eye out for the sigh of the storm. Here's a good look at what to expect in due time.
There it is. Sigh of the storm. All right.
That's right. Yes,
Cool.
we had Jacob Voss, a former Homecoming Central student, now Iowa State Weather, the face of Iowa State Weather, help us with that. So thanks to Jacob if he's out there watching. But
Oh, he's
yes,
the
we're
best. I love
excited.
watching his. I love watching his updates. They're so cool. He does the weekly or the daily updates on Twitter.
Yeah,
just the
of what to
forecast from
expect in your
campus.
Ames. That's right. So we can't wait to welcome you all home to Ames and into the sigh of the storm. The homecoming game, like we said, is Saturday, October 23rd. And just thanks everyone for tuning into this virtual State Day event. And thanks to our guests who helped us with all of our content tonight.
Yes, thank you so much everyone for giving us that behind the scenes look on campus. Also, remember to follow us, the Alumni Association. We're on social media. You're probably watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. We're on all three of those, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest as well. So make sure you give us a follow there at ISU Alum. And thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it, everyone.
Yes, and make sure you check out isualum.org/virtual State Day 2021 for a list of free fun activities to continue celebrating Iowa State. Have a great night and go Cyclones!